This is the Škoda 109E, one of the biggest failures in Czech locomotive history. Their entry into service was delayed for years. And now, after less than 15 years in service, they are being retired from mainline work in the Czech Republic. Also briefly exported to Germany, the announcement to basically end their service there was made last year. And as for the Slovak ones, well, I don't think anyone has ever seen their two locomotives functioning at the same time. So join me on a journey from Český Krumlov, one of the Czech Republic's most beautiful cities, to Prague, on a very limited intercity service as we explore this train's troubled history. Our journey begins at the Český Krumlov railway station, located just a bit outside the historic city center, that many tourists visit every year. Anyway, let's head inside and check out the station building. Small it is, there's basically nothing here except there's two benches, a coffee machine, a departure board, and a closed ticket window. Over here you'll find loads of free books to read, which you might need because, well, the train to Prague only goes once every day. At other times, the station is served by local trains operated by GW Train Regio, running roughly every 2 hours with connecting services to Prague. On the station's platform, you will find a small post office, and next to it, there's also some paid public toilets. And at the end of the platform, there's a small pub, which even has ping pong tables. The eagle-eyed among you might have noticed there's no electrification here, so how is this video gonna be about the Škoda 109E electric locomotive? Well, it's getting attached at our next station stop. Our train is actually so long that the last carriage barely fits onto the platform. For the first bit of the trip, we will be hauled by this České Dráhy Class 754 locomotive, nicknamed Goggles. I think you see why. They are capable of speeds up to 100 km per hour. Right, I think it's time for us to head on board the train. I'll be traveling in second class today, which is every carriage on the train except the one all the way at the front, which is also a bistro carriage. We'll be checking out the rest of the train a bit later in the video. For now, I'm just gonna go find an empty compartment. This one will do just fine. We depart Český Krumlov a minute behind schedule at 14:08. Initially snaking our way through the hills around here. And with us now well on our way, let's take a closer look at the route map for today's journey. Intercity train 534 leaves daily from Český Krumlov with first stop České Budějovice. Here we will lose the diesel engine and switch to the much more troubled Škoda 109E electric locomotive. We continue on making a stop in Tábor before arriving at Prague main station. This is scheduled to take 2 hours 29 minutes to cover the 195 kilometers, giving the train an average speed of 79 kilometers per hour. The railway line from Český Krumlov is especially pretty with the forest leaves falling off the trees. And when you're not in the forest, we get a beautiful view of the rolling hills. But while it is very pretty, it's certainly not winning any rewards for its speed. As we get closer to České Budějovice, let's go explore the rest of the train. The train mostly consists of second-class compartment cars like this. They have been refurbished quite a few times and are quite modern, featuring electronic displays and upgraded seating. At the end of every corridor, you will find the toilet. It's got a simple lock, and overall it's looking fairly clean. Some of the toilet paper escaped, but apart from that, everything is functioning, the toilet is clean, so I'm giving České dráhy a thumbs up. Further down the train, there's also an accessible and bike carriage, with plenty of space for bikes, so feel free to bring it along. This carriage features a few compartments, followed by some open seating, next up is where the ramps are for wheelchair users, as well as more bike storage. Further down you'll find the accessible compartment as well as accessible toilet. And all the way at the front we have the combined first class and bistro carriage. Here you can get beer on tap, a light meal or some snacks or other soft drinks. The food quality for dining on board České dráhy is usually pretty good. Behind the bar is where you will find the regular first class seating, which is in a 1+2 layout. As we reach the front, we are almost in České Budějovice. On our way into the station, we run past the train maintenance facility, where we even see some former Deutsche Bahn wagons. And a few moments later, we pull into the station. And as mentioned, here we will have our engine swapped. Which we'll of course go have a look at. We say goodbye to our goggles locomotive. And say hello to the troublemaker that is the Škoda 109E locomotive. České dráhy calls them the Class 380 and they are built to run at 200 km per hour. And let's quickly jump back on board before we depart and I will explain the trouble behind these trains. We depart on time and are now heading for Tábor. Škoda won an order to build these trains for České dráhy in 2004 with delivery scheduled for 2009. However, these trains quickly faced technical issues and delays and it took until 2011 before these trains could enter service domestically in the Czech Republic under a trial operation certification. However, these issues never really stopped. The trains are still prone to frequent breakdowns and it took until 2013 before they managed to get full safety certification on these trains. The story is similar for the versions delivered to Germany and Slovakia, and to this day the train is still known to be quite unreliable. České dráhy has announced that it's too uneconomical to fit ETCS signaling to these trains, which will become a requirement to run on most main lines in the Czech Republic during 2025. So it's looking like this train is heading for an early retirement after about 15 years in service. They are interesting locomotives for sure, and I only briefly summed up all the issues with them here. For instance, Škoda faced a big lawsuit due to the many technical issues and delays with these trains, and they never ended up operating in Germany as planned. I can highly recommend reading more about them if you found this interesting. Luckily, our unit is behaving today and we are pulling into Tábor pretty much on time. So now we just gotta hope the locomotive stays together for the rest of the run to Prague. And before we get there, we still have to have a look at the seats. Today we are traveling in a regular second class compartment made up of 6 seats. You can shut the door if you want. Above the seats you'll find space for luggage. Suitcases can go on top, with small backpacks going here. Above the door you'll find a control panel for the lights, volume of announcements, as well as temperature. The seats by the door come with a small drinks table. Below the seats you'll find 2 power outlets and 2 USB ports. By the window you'll find some larger flip-out tables. The actual seats are really comfortable. You can both adjust the headrest, and the seat base itself is very comfortable. Basically big armchairs, and they offer a great amount of recline too. It's a really comfortable way to travel. And as we are now approaching Prague, I can tell you that it's not even that expensive to travel with České dráhy. I paid just 205 Czech crowns for my second class ticket, booked a few days in advance in the České dráhy app, which is excellent value for money for a 2.5 hour journey on a comfortable modern intercity train. And here we are at Prague main station, and against all the problems that these trains face, we made it on time today. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Škoda 109E. Did you have one breakdown while you were traveling on it perhaps? I'd love to know. Thank you so much for joining me on today's trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming to the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.